Okay, this is going to be at the speed of heat. We're going to catch up here and get you back on time. So bottom line is this. If you look at what makes sense, you've got to be able to make money. You've got to make it good for the national security, and it's got to be good for the environment. At the end of the day, it's that simple. If you can find those things that do those three things, then it's a win-win-win. And so what are those items? And quite frankly, that's what we focus on. We focus on that at East West. We focus on that National Defense University and other places. But those are the three things we focus on. I've spent the last 30 years or so in uniform before I transitioned. Jumped out of a bunch of airplanes. Perfectly good airplanes is not a true statement. There is no such thing as a perfectly good airplane. But I've done it over 1,000 times. I've commanded a bunch of warships, been in combat in Iraq, Afghanistan. I was there when bin Laden met his last moment in Pakistan. Shot a few Tomahawks here and there. And at no time during that entire 30 years and during all those combat environment events did I say we were not happy with the environment or that we were anti-environment. It's just not the case for military folks. As a matter of fact, I will tell you that the military spends more money than any other organization out there to ensure that the environment is being cleaned up properly. Wasn't always the case, is the case now. The Great Green Fleet is a perfect example of that, where the entire fleet was run on biofuels for a couple days to include the airplanes that were flying around, et cetera. So the bottom line is, if you look at where we need to go in the future, it is all about the environment, about making money, and national security. If you can balance those three together, you're good. So I offer that there are kind of three ways to do that: technology, education, and policy and legal changes. So imagine, if you will, that you have a bunch of ships out there that you can figure out how to reduce the coefficient of friction on the hulls and therefore increase the efficiency, therefore they burn less carbon fuels. This is a good thing. It's good for the environment. It's cheaper. And oh, by the way, if you can do that, it makes the ships quieter, which makes it safer for the ships. So that's a win-win-win across the board. As far as education goes, I offer that organizations like National Defense University and others that are out there, if they can start doing, just like they have chairs for China, they have chairs for Russia, they have chairs for countering terrorism. If you have a chair to understand the environment and the impacts on the environment, I think that's a very good investment as you move forward. It's a very cheap way to invest in something that, quite frankly, impacts the military writ large. So we're looking at that right now. And then policy and legal changes, quite frankly, if you were to make it a requirement that before you gave any money to your congressman or senator or other that is running for office, they have to provide you with a plan, their plan on how they're going to improve the environment. I think that very quickly you would have more plans come out. Just a thought there. So the bottom line is, it's got to be better for the economy. It's got to be better for the environment. It's got to be better for national security. So I'll end with this. Wrote this book a couple years ago, Guaranteeing America's Security in the 21st Century. It's like 600 pages, pretty long. And one of my assistants went through the other day and said, you know what? Those tabs there are all the times you talked about the environment. The bottom line is the environment matters. It matters to national security now, and it matters to national security a lot down the road as you start looking at the changes in salinity, which changes, temperature, pressure, and salinity impact how sound propagates through the ocean. It increases, how much fuel is going to cost, et cetera. So the bottom line is this all matters quite a bit. I'll stop there. Thank you very much for your time today, and I look forward to any questions you may have.
To Q&A. Obviously we are over time. That's a good problem to have, that people still want to talk. We have the room until 7 o'clock, maybe one or two questions, and then Rod, and then we'll be able to close the event.
Thank you very much, Bill Parker. I look forward to working with you and your organization, the East West Institute. I think you will make an amazing research partner for us. So I really look forward to that.